What's up, guys? We're here at the Pest Daily Energy venue. I'm super excited. We're in Tampa, and I get to meet with a good friend that I connected here with, Jean Navarro from Mega Bee Rescues. How are you, man?
Great, man. It's great. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me here as well. It's an honor to be surrounded by so many like-minded individuals, so many powerful people in this industry that you know that being here and being alongside yourself, it's a great feeling. It's a great day, and I'm excited.
So far, the guest speakers, everything that we're learning, I think is invaluable.
Definitely.
Especially as young entrepreneurs. A lot of the people that are here are on another level on the game. You know, they're fighting bosses on way higher levels than we are, and I think it's good insight. And so
Definitely. I think it's motivating to go back and definitely just work on moving in the right direction. Really be strategic the way we are operating rather than just going with the flow. So I think everyone that's here, all of the speakers that are here, have been nothing but motivating in every aspect and on every scale as well.
100%. What was your number one takeaway so far? Like,
definitely look into the data, look into the numbers, make sure that the numbers speak for us. Don't go based on what you think, go based on what you can prove and what it speaks to you. So definitely I look forward to doing that.
I think I learned so much, and there's some question marks that I need to figure out.
Yeah.
Cancel versus sales,
Definitely.
tracking that number better, the net promoter score.
Yeah. Well, going back to selling and losing, you can sell all you want, but if you're losing clients, it doesn't make sense, right? So making sure that you are operating and you are growing overall, and you are scaling is what truly makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit about bees, because obviously at Wise House Environmental Services, we want to make sure that if you have a bee problem, that the bees are taken from your property in a safe manner. We actually want to save the bees the best we can, get them back to a bee farm. But in some instances, I know that you can't do that. Speak a little bit about that. Like, if you have bees as a homeowner, like, what are the options, and how do you guys handle that?
Definitely. So from state to state, it can differentiate depending on the state regulations. In the state of Florida, if you have bees in a home, you can either get them rescued and relocated by a registered beekeeper, or you can get them eradicated by a licensed operator, which will be the pest control. In this case, we specialize in the live removal and the live relocation of bees. So what that means is a lot of times homeowners have bees in their home. They'll call us, we go there, we evaluate the situation, and then we come up with a strategic plan to get those bees out of that property, relocate them back to our bee farm, and then they're under our care.
When do you actually decide to actually eliminate a colony and kill it? Like, what is the threshold? Like, right above the door, the kids are running out and we got to remove this, we're not saving them, we got to kill it right away? Or like, where do you go? Like,
that's a phenomenal question, because now we think about the timeline of when you're seeing bees in your property. You want to jump on it and you want to get it resolved as soon as possible. So a fun fact and a very important detail would be that, the queen bee, if she has the space adequate, she can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. And at the same time, on an average beehive, there's anywhere between 5,000 to 35,000 bees per hive. So stating that, it's something that it's very important for, an individual homeowner to act as fast as possible, really jump on top of it as soon as it can, because beehives will reproduce, beehives will grow, and unfortunately, the bigger they grow, the bigger that the job becomes. So the sooner they can resolve it, the sooner it'll be better.
100%.
Yeah.
So how do you know if you actually have Africanized bees?
Yeah, that's another great question as well. So when it comes to genetics and when it comes to species of beehives, it could differentiate from beehive to beehive in regards to very small characteristics. From the naked eye, it can be very difficult, but if there's one common factor, is their defensive mechanism. So now when it comes to bees, by the way they behave and the way they defend their hive, we as beekeepers can decide if they have Africanized genetics in them, or if they're European, or if they're Italian. There's a lot of species out there. But now, as a beekeeper and as a bee specialist, we have to understand that Africanized bees are very defensive and they're very aggressive at the same time. So we have to make the best decision that's safe for the public, safe for the beekeeper, and it applies to the regulation of Florida. So if you have Africanized bees, you have to make sure that you call a registered beekeeper or a licensed operator to handle that and make sure that it gets taken care of the right way.
What are some of the traits that you would know that that's an Africanized bee colony as a homeowner? Like, because normal bees, they're probably not as aggressive, but like, how would an average homeowner know if they have an Africanized bee colony within their structure? If those signs are, those traits of those bees are showing that they are Africanized, what do they do?
Definitely. So as a homeowner, it's going to be very difficult for them to really dictate and understand if they're Africanized or not. For the most part, they're going to see the honeybee and it's going to be a honeybee. So whether it's Africanized or not, it's going to apply within the same rule, which means if they have bees, don't tamper with it. If they have bees, call a qualified specialist to handle it and assess it. If they have bees as well, for example, the sooner they can resolve it, the better it is. Now, when it comes to how aggressive and how defensive they can be, the younger the hive, the less defensive they're going to be. The older the hive, the more aggressive they're going to be. So it's something that to just think, the sooner you get it, the better your odds are into just anything happen.
Is there any truth into when you run from a bee colony, Africanized bees will chase you farther?
Yeah.
They'll attack your mouth. If you jump in the water, they'll hover around you, wait for you to come back. Is that like
yeah, so yeah, it's actually true when it comes to Africanized bees. Unfortunately, they can go more of a radius and a longer distance of really tracking you. And it all leads back to one thing, carbon dioxide when you breathe. So a lot of times, as you just mentioned, your lips, your face, bees will be attracted to carbon dioxide. So a lot of times when you are working with just bees or you are approaching one, the main reason why people get stung on the face first is because they are attracted to the carbon dioxide that we breathe. So main reason of why beekeepers protect their face, protect the veil, because the bees do attack the face first at most times.
So Jean from Mega Bee Rescue, we will actually subcontract his work to actually handle bee problems for some of our clients and to remove them in a safe manner, because I know that at Mega Bee Rescue, they're not just always trying to kill the bees, they're trying to save the bees.
Sir.
And so we appreciate that. Preventative bee measures at your home. What can homeowners do to prevent bees from being attracted to their home? Is there anything that they can do or what they should do?
They can definitely implement practices to really help themselves out. One of them is known as bee proofing. So there is information out there in regards to something known as bee proofing that you can really go around the house, tighten up and seal any crack and crevice smaller than the size of the actual bee. Because what happens is the bee will find any cavity perfect to their adequate living. So with that being said, going around the house, making sure that the holes are covered, making sure that there's nothing penetrating that's an open cavity inside is something that the homeowner can really help themselves do. So we as pest control specialists, we know it as exclusion when it comes to animals. So same concept, doing a bee proofing around the house, it's something that it's a smaller scale when it comes to the size of it, but same concept. You would want to cover up and make sure that all the openings are sealed.
After you remove a hive from your house, after you actually physically remove a beehive from the structure, what's next? What should you do and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. After removal is done, the main reason you want to make sure that you seal up the opening that was made. You remove also, if you can, the pheromones that were there, right? Those are things that are important to avoid beehives returning in reality. Because what happens is bees communicate through smells. So if you remove a beehive and the smells don't get taken care of, we handle this as bee removal specialists. But if, for example, if the bee removal specialist or the homeowner doesn't worry about the smell, the bees go back. They communicate through pheromones. Another big factor is if openings are made, seal the openings and make sure that you exclude and bee-proof the area to avoid the issue happening again long term. So those are small little two details that a homeowner can do to prevent from the issue happening.
So 100%, like it's true, like if you don't remove the hive, right? The next season, the bees will come back. Even after you removed the previous or you didn't get the whole hive, you might have killed off the bees, but you didn't take the hive away and then you close it off. They're gonna find a way to get back to that hive eventually, right?
I would say one of the biggest mistakes that are done when it comes to bees dealing with them in a property is the fact that the bees can be eradicated or killed, but the beehive is left behind. The beehive being left behind provides smells that will attract bees to come back, and it'll be a consistent flow of problems. That is a very common mistake that is done. That's why if you have bees, you want to make sure that you approach it right away, but also approach it right. Remove the entire beehive, do a complete beehive removal so you don't have secondary issues that can lead to other problems long term.
Great information.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Can you kind of explain to the average homeowner like what bees do for the environment and how they're so beneficial to us?
Definitely. So bees are pollinators. Bees at the end of the day are just so beneficial because they are responsible for 1/3 of our food supply chain. So now with that being said, anywhere from fruits, oranges, bananas, avocados, any vegetables that we have as well, all the produce, bees are responsible for the pollination of those goods. So without bees, there'll be a shortage of food, leading to economic failure. So with that, stating that, it's something that bees are very essential and bees are very important when it comes to society.
Again, Jean from Mega Bee Rescue here at the Pest Daily venue in Tampa. Super excited for the conversation we had, and I hope that this helps with some of the customers that we have and some of our customer base. And when it comes to bees, obviously, we currently do not deal with bees. And so thank you, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the questions. We're happy to hear, educate in what we do and really better the industry in the best way possible, man. So thank you as well for being a great individual, man. You got something great going for yourself, so keep it up.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, no worries.
Right,
that's it.
We're out.